Hey, everybody, welcome into the building. Listen, happy, what is it, Wednesday? And happy trending topics. Oh, we're in the building today, y'all. And listen, if you want a ticket on this train, you know what you got to do. You have to hit that like button. And if you're not a subscriber, go ahead and subscribe. We have a whole lot of fun over here. So hit the subscriber and hit the like button as you come in the building because we need those likes. And that's your ticket in the building. We don't need anybody sneaking on this train now. Don't be sneaking on the train. If we got 35 people in the building, we need 35 likes. Hit the like button, y'all. But we got trending topics tonight, and our topic is questionable relationships. We're gonna get into this, honey. Questionable relationships, okay? In case you didn't know. And I could have put a lot of people on this list. Okay. The Scott sisters from Escape. But I think we exhausted that topic. But that questionable relationships, we could have thrown them up here, okay? Questionable relationships. Just a whole lot of people could have been on this list, but I only picked a couple, okay? Because we got things to talk about. All right. So hit that like button. I'm about to board this train, but I cannot board the train. I cannot board the train until y'all put one in that chat. Y'all know what y'all got to do. Can somebody tell me what you got to put in that chat? Come on, y'all. If y'all been coming here, y'all should know we need a choo-choo. All aboard, everybody. I'm about to board this train, and I need some choo-choos in that chat. Put it in the chat for me now, okay? Come on now, Roy. Yeah, I appreciate you. We about to board this train and pull this train out of the first stop. Thank you, Nubian Mahogany. Thank you, Robin. We need a choo-choo, okay? Thank you, Jill. We need this choo-choo, and I'm about to board this train. Now, you know we got a loyal monthly ticket holder. I'm bringing in the building. Hey, Auntie Robin.
Hey, Diva. Choo-choo.
Woo-hoo. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Listen, you know I got to bring my nephew in the building. Hey, nephew, what's going on? Choo-choo. Okay. Let me tell you something. This train rider right here, when she comes through, okay, she shakes this train. The train get all what turbulence on the train.
Oh, come on, bro. You're shaking this train. Yes, we're shaking the car.
Turbulence on the train.
Yes.
Well, welcome Ian to the train.
Happy Wednesday. I am so happy to be here with you lovely people. Hey.
Hey. Uh-oh now. Here we go. Hi, I am Leo Aries. How are you?
I am great, Diva. Chill. Ready to get all aboard.
Chill and all aboard. Now listen, this one we thought he quit. But apparently the food cart will be open tonight. Okay, we had a little pay dispute. I guess it's all settled now with HR. Okay. Hey, Chef Kev.
Hey, what's going on? How y'all doing? How's everyone doing?
Chef Kev, has the coins been right? Did HR?
Yeah.
Did HR get them right?
Yeah, HR got them right. HR got them right.
We signed paperwork today. We good.
We good. Okay. So, Chef Kev, you have food. Is the food in the bar open? What's going on in your cart tonight?
Oh shucks, we got wings, we got tater tots, we got ribs, we got a whole bunch of stuff. We got snacks. Tater tots. You never had fried tater tots? Mm-hmm. Oh my God, what's wrong with you?
In elementary school, but I love me some tater tots. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Also some Old Bay seasoning.
What kind of hot sauce you got?
Got crab cakes, huh? What kind of what? What kind of hot sauce? Oh, it's homemade.
Hot sauce.
That's special. My homemade.
He said homemade.
Okay, I'm good.
Off the shelf. Okay.
We told about a bottle. Okay, look.
The key word is chef. I make my own.
Oh. Period. Use us, okay? All right now listen, guys. We're gonna card the people, Chef Kev, when they come to get their drinks and everything. We about to pull this train out the station. So right now we got the people that came to the train stop early. So we're about to pull this train out the station. Okay. Choo choo. Now listen, tonight is about questionable relationships, okay? And listen, people do what you want to do. We're not mad at you, but we're just going to have a discussion about it. But you have the right to do whatever it is you want to do. Now, Khloe Kardashian, she has 2 children by Tristan Thompson. He has some other children outside of the 2 children he has with her. And you know, he has shown her who he is over and over and over again. Now, I heard you say it several times, Chef Kev, that you know what? I think you said something about don't let nobody tell you twice they don't want you. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Tristan must have told her over and over again that he didn't want her. But for whatever reason, she is stuck to him like glue. Okay. She can't seem to just let it go and let him go. But you know what though? People going to treat you the way you teach them to treat you. So he bought
Right.
that part, right? Whoever said that, amen. Okay. So he bought himself a pad next to Khloe. Okay. Now here's the thing. What I don't understand is y'all beat Kanye West down when he bought him a little house next to Kim Kardashian when they first broke up. Y'all was mad at Kanye. But Tristan buys his house next to Khloe and everybody's good. Okay. So Tristan hasn't given up hope on Khloe romance after moving next door. So he got easy access. That's what that's really called. Okay. Next door. That's easy access. That's what it is. This is her super tiny now. But this is a story for a whole nother day. All these celebrities all of a sudden to get trim and slim, they on that Ozempic. They want to take that medication. But you know what? Beware, people. That medication is deadly. Okay. They said the minute you come off, every pound that you lost, you gain it back and then some. Okay. Now listen, if he wasn't so toxic, they a cute couple with 2 kids together. But here's the thing. I always say this: when you date a person, if they have 1 kid before you start dating, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, whatever, when you start to get with them, now y'all got 10 kids together. So if that's what you want to do, that's what you do. So they said from lovers to neighbors, Tristan Thompson has decided to spend more time with his ex Khloe Kardashian and their children as he settles into his new pad. Okay, Khloe and Tristan live 2 miles away from each other in Hidden Hills. A source exclusively told Us Weekly. Okay, so she likes to say she's single, but she knows she's still with that man. But the thing is, my thing is, why hide it, boo? You don't got to answer to us. If you want to be with him, do what you want to do. Now, let me just share one more screen here. So much so that these 2, right? She wants to play it off like they not together. But meantime, they got caught going through the McDonald's drive-thru. Okay, he over there, she driving, right? You know, getting some McDonald's for themselves and the kids after she claims she's single. Girl, we already know you back with the man. It ain't our business. Do what you want to do. They said Ronald isn't the only clown at McDonald's. Now, see, whoever wrote this, they messy.
Okay,
That was
period.
so accurate.
Y'all don't get on me. I'm reading the article, okay, from page 6. This ain't Diva. That's what they said. Ronald isn't the only clown at McDonald's. Khloe Kardashian has perpetually unfaithful ex-boyfriend Tristan Thompson was spotted in the drive-thru of one of the fast food chain's locations, okay, in California Tuesday afternoon, and a video taken by the restaurant employee. Now, see, the thing is, y'all know you can't ever sneak around. Everybody got a phone now. Everybody can be an instant investigator or reporter because all they got to do is take out their little phone and boom, okay, they got the footage, okay? No, they said in the video taken by the restaurant employee, the reality star was seen interacting with the cashier from behind the wheel of her SUV while the basketball player sat in the passenger seat. Now, why wasn't he driving? But anywho,
Yeah.
Okay, that part, right? Okay, he should have been driving. And then I would have, you know what, if you want to hide it, I would have ducked down in the back seat until you got the food.
I would have to.
Child, that part right there. Get the food, and then when you pull out, I'll get back up again. And they said it's unclear whether their 5-year-old daughter True and 8-month-old son were in the back seat. You know, they probably were. But anyway, that's Khloe and Tristan. And my thing is, be bold, honey. If you want him, you want him. She's ashamed. Yeah, she's ashamed, but you still letting him, tap that, touch you, and do whatever the case may be. So let's go around and just have a quick chat about Khloe and Tristan. E, I'm gonna start with you. What are your thoughts?
So I'll say this. Khloe got the average black man. Just another black king, black kinging. Khloe is your average baby mama from the hood. She said, I let him come around so he can have a relationship, so my daughter can have a relationship with her father. If you have to force a man to have a relationship with your child by compromising your dating potential for snagging the next Russell Wilson, you are doing yourself a disservice. But I'm not going to do too much preaching because Khloe advertised for this. She got the BBL and the implants and the surgery to attract this type of attention from the black king. Now, he moved 2 doors down from you, but he couldn't give you a ring and marry you. He can't live in the same house with you. Y'all, something is going on. And I wouldn't, if a man that had a baby at the same time as my youngest child was born, you had some woman pregnant at the same time as my surrogate, if you move 2 doors down from me, I'll move out the neighborhood because that's creepy to me. How am I going to get my next man with you staying 2 doors down? I don't need Tristan. If I'm Khloe, I don't need Tristan that close to me in order to co-parent. That's what the nannies are for. They have nannies, her sister, her mom. Tristan ain't keeping up with that baby. Tristan don't even know that baby favorite color. You cannot convince me that he is that active. I believe he is around, but is he emotionally present? I doubt it. I doubt it.
Yeah, I doubt it too. And my thing is, as a woman, and this is just me, and nobody ever has responsibility for the other children, right? But as a female, if my man had 3 other kids, I would want him. I feel like, you know what, be active in your 3 other kids' lives too. That to me is a good father. I mean, what is
Emmanuel?
And yeah, what is it going to look like when our kids grow up and they know they got siblings and you was so good to them, but you wasn't good to the other ones? I don't know. That just doesn't sit well with me, but that's me. I am Leo Aries. What are your thoughts on this? Why is she hiding it? For what and for who?
Hiding it? I don't think she is, because she went to the McDonald's with him, driving in the front seat with him. She wants somebody to know she's still dipping and dealing with him. He is her kid's father, so I think on those rights, she thinks, because she still got to play up the other women. Let's keep that part in mind. She already know he deal with other women, so she got to play that part up, that she still is dealing with him, and they still got a so-called family, I guess. But the fact that he would get the house right on in her same block on her, because that's a gated community. That's in Hidden Hills or something like that. Anybody can't get no house up in that area. It had to be orchestrated that way.
She helped him.
It did.
She helped him.
Yes, she helped him. So I don't know why she's hiding it, in the sense of not being open and say, hey, I don't care what he does. He's still a part of my family. I'm still a part of his. I'm still going to be with him. She's clearly that way. I mean, she got what she wanted. Let's be honest. She wanted to bounce on some black teen. She got her some. She got one that now is the father of her children. She wants to be with him. I think that is pretty much Khloe Kardashian's whole thing. She wants to be with him, even though she know publicly that it would be, ridiculed. The people gonna talk. Of course, she being drugged no matter what. So, I mean, hey, if she want to creep, because remember, you lose them how you got it. So if she want to creep, and want to make like she ain't really with him, but she still is with him. She's still the one that's the fool. If she wants somebody to walk the dog on, Tristan is the right one. That's how I feel.
Facts. You know what, you brought up a good point. You know, he pays out a lot of child support. She helped him get in that community. She helped him get that house. And I really feel like he's more at her house than his own. But you know, it is what it is. And is their business. My thing, don't hide it. The way he ignored his other children should make her run. She is disgusting. I mean, come on. I would run for the hills, because how could you treat your own flesh and blood that way? But you know, that's me. Chef Kev, you're in the building. What are your thoughts?
Don't have any.
Okay. My ex-husband moved across the street from me years ago. I moved. I don't know why some men do that. Yeah, because they want to keep tabs on you.
That's crazy. Yeah. She's right.
Yeah, they want to keep tabs on you. So they want you to not have another relationship, but they can have whatever relationship they want, and they want to have access to you whenever they want and be all up in your business. And I'm glad you moved, because that is a whole hot mess.
And Diva.
Well, Diva, I wouldn't do it. He would be upset with me, because I would do me. I would do the Leo thing, and he would just be upset, because if we're not together, she doing something else. Because if we're not together, he would be upset, because I would be doing me. I would be taking care of my own. I wouldn't have men necessarily at my house because I have small children, but be that as it may, I would still date. He'd be mad with me. He wouldn't do that to me, because he already know I don't play.
Yeah, I would get
it's not just that. He's eggplant blocking. And because let me tell you something. If men policed other men the way they police women, a lot of problems that we have between races wouldn't occur. The fact of the matter is that nobody wants to talk about is that men are intimidated by other men. So the fact that your baby daddy moves 2 doors down from you and he can see everything, that can be intimidating to some men. See, with women, we ready to throw hands and we ready to fight and we ready to talk smack. Men like to avoid drama. So a lot of men are non-confrontational unless they are strung out on drugs and they just hot-headed like that. But I think that's something we need to take into consideration. Men are intimidated by other men. Can we agree on that on this panel?
Oh, no, I agree. I'm connecting with you. You are correct. You are correct. Because you know what? Why should, especially when it's a new relationship, why would I get in a new relationship and on the onset of that relationship, I got to deal with drama? So you can potentially lose a good man because your baby daddy want to stick around and act a fool. So you are correct, E. He's blocking. He's blocking. But you know what, though? She want to be blocked because she still wants him. Yeah. How can a brother not have an opinion? Come on, say something. Well, you know what?
Come on, Chef.
Go ahead, Roy. You're on mute, babe. You're on mute. You are right, Derby Diva. Men could dish it, but they can't take it. Go ahead, Roy.
I'm gonna learn to get off this mute button one day. But no, I don't feel bad for Khloe. I don't, whatever comes, happens. You continue to put yourself in a situation with the individual who you have seen their behavior, they have shown you their behavior, and you're choosing not to believe. And whatever happens. I mean, who wants to live in dysfunction? Who wants to love in confusion? Who wants to just be desperate just to have someone in their presence? I mean, come on. We're in 2023 in the time of everybody going to therapy and doing work and trying to become a better person.
Right.
And you continue to still sit back and sit in foolishness and sit with someone who does not love you the way that you deserve to be loved. This right here is a perfect example of low self-esteem. This is a perfect example of the mother giving everyone else attention and leaving you out. This is the perfect example of the world singling you out because you didn't fit into the box of what everybody else wanted you to fit in. And so now she is at a place where she is desperate enough for the attention that she's willing to get with any and everybody. And unfortunately, this individual is the closest to her because she has not one, but 2 children with this man now. So where else do I go? Who can I run to fill this empty place? Who can I run to when I need love?
You better sing that.
Seeking the love that she so-called desires.
Come on, Royer Scott.
Boom. Okay. Boom.
He is the fifth member.
Listen,
The fifth
and
member.
then also, listen,
member.
she's still weak in the knees. She gets so weak. She can't hardly sleep. She losing control. She has lost control of it all, y'all. So she's in the midst of it all. She needs to go to an SWV and an escape concert, and maybe they can help get her mind unconfused.
SWV for Khloe stands for Sister Without a Valentine because Tristan was not there on Valentine's.
Ooh. Ooh.
Woo, child, y'all starting early.
You gonna make me choke on my drink.
Oh, Jesus.
City, you're welcome. We always will pick you up. Always.
Listen.
OMG. But listen, it is what it is, and we might be helping somebody out there in the world when they click on the video because you are worth more than that. But you know what though? We knew she had low self-esteem when you was insisting upon having another baby with him. That after all he did to you, you still and got a surrogate to have his another baby by him. I mean, come on. I get it. You want your kids to have the same father, but if the same father is off his rocker and crazy, do the Sierra. Get yourself a Russell Wilson.
Hello, somebody.
Okay, can we get an amen in the chat? Get yourself a Russell Wilson. Okay, that man went out there and got her masters, gave her music back. Treat her first son like it's his own. I think he adopted. Did he adopt him? I'm not sure, but I know he treat him like it's his own.
His own baby.
He did because Future's rights. Russell adopted him because Future's parental rights are terminated by the courts.
That's right, terminated.
Oh wow.
Okay? So he adopted him. Yeah. Hashtag Russell Wilson. Okay, Auntie Robin, what are your thoughts on this situation?
I don't know. Given the discussion we're having, it sounds to me like we're being pretty assumptive about Khloe. I will say that I would like for the record for us all to say we don't know what she's thinking, but I want to say that I 100% believe that she knows, she's very well aware she wants that man for whatever reason. We don't know him, but she wants him. We know what his character is. Guess what? She has not proven to be illiterate. She doesn't not be able to understand. She knows that she got with this man who had a pregnant woman, had a baby by him. She intentionally had children with this man. For me, my issue is the world knows about you. Why don't you just do your thing? Why are you hiding going through? I mean, here's the thing. You're going to do what you're going to do. And whatever her big age is at this point, if she feels the need to pretend like she's living a life that she is not living, that's the problem I have with her self-esteem. The problem that I have that she's not standing 10 toes down in the decisions that she's made for herself and her family. Because quite frankly, if that's what she wants to do, that's her business. You know, I was gonna say we all. I know there's one of my girlfriend's mom was in a whole relationship with this man for most of my friend's life. He lived at her house. He lived at the house with his wife and other children. Went to the family functions, the church functions. It was okay with Miss So-and-so. That's how they lived. It couldn't work for me, but that's what they do. And I just think that the house that he got, his house in Hidden Hills, is probably some kind of tax write-off or something because it doesn't make sense. They are together. We see them. We know that. And it's okay because if she likes it, that's on her. I don't care.
I hear you. Thank you for that. All right, y'all. So our next questionable relationship, and it's really questionable. We giving him the side eye, but it is what it is now because these two are married. Okay. But he could be seen as a predator. He could be seen as having the syndrome of some R&B singer that we know of that's behind bars. It's questionable. So we're gonna bring up this situation here and we're gonna talk about it. Okay. So Marques, he's
Go home, Roger.
Ooh, child. Okay, Marques Houston on backlash he received for marrying a woman 20 years his junior. Okay. And you know, we have seen age gaps like this before in plenty of relationships. Can somebody go on mute? I'm hearing a little crinkling, crunchy thing going on. So you know, 20 years his junior. Okay. That's him, that's her. They cute. In the picture, you can't tell that their age gap is that, you know, big like that. They look really cute together. Look like they're around the same age, but they're not. Okay. So Marques Houston has opened up about his marriage to, what is that, Maya? As their relationship made headlines when a couple tied the knot in 2020 after it was revealed that they met when she was 17 years old. Okay, that makes her 20 years younger than the former immature crooner. Okay, Houston, now 41, discusses meeting his wife and bonding with the young woman over their shared faith in a promotional clip for his upcoming episode of TV's One Uncensored. Okay, you know, people kill me. When they do something shady, it's always, oh, we got the same belief in God or whomever, and that's what connected us. Listen, a little kid can have faith in God, and I could connect with the little kid. I ain't going to get with them and marry them. Like, come on, stop, okay? So, and he added that neither one of them pursued a relationship or felt a connection until she turned 18. That come on, whoever said that, Robin. Okay,
Yeah.
the name of Candy is the lies that I can't deal with in this situation. You met her at 17. You was giving her the eye. You was communicating with a minor, and you want to tell us that y'all didn't start talking until she turned 18. Okay, whatever. Me and my wife's situation is a little different. No, Marques, it's a lot different. How we met, he said, okay, how we met through mutual friends. How we met through mutual friends. Let me see, where was I at? How we met through mutual friends and everything like that. Houston explains in the clip. When I met my wife, she was 17. So no real conversation, no real connection until, you know, she was of age. No, we don't know because we giving y'all the side eye, okay? He went on. He said, people don't understand it. And I got a lot of backlash for marrying someone that was 19. When we finally did start to talk, I was like, this woman is like me. And when I would talk to her, she just, when I would talk to her, she just, for one, we had a spiritual connection. And I felt like that's the most important thing. We both love God. We both love Jehovah. And that was key. Well, no, what key was, mister, is that she was underage. But okay. Okay. It says the Let Go singer added that music was another thing they had in common between the two. Okay. And that cemented their chemistry because they had music and God in common. Being able to start being around her, You see how the truth comes out of their mouth and they don't even realize it? You was around her, but when she turned 18, that's when you really was being able to start being around her. To her. We connected through music, he added. Her spirit, her kindness, her heart reminds me a lot of my mom, okay? You know, we connected on so many different levels, okay? The couple welcomed a daughter in December 2021. She went to Instagram and announced the news alongside a family photo. Okay, her name is Zara. The baby's name is Zara Denise. That's a cute name. Okay, the baby pounds and all that. Listen, they're a cute couple, but he's a predator. But that's neither here nor there. Okay, I guess. Look at them together. That's cute. Look at the baby. The baby is cute. Okay, it's cute pictures.
It's a lovely picture.
Huh?
It's a lovely picture.
It is. She's look at that cutie pie.
It's a lovely picture of victims. Yes.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. So he's messy, Boots. He preyed on her. He groomed her. and now she's married to him. And unfortunately, you know what's gonna happen? She's gonna wake up one day and be like, "How did I get here?" Since we,
Mm.
She is.
since we,
She
since
is.
quoting
She
songs.
buys the Depends from the CVS.
Okay, since we quoting songs in our recap today, she's gonna be like, "How did I get here? You wasn't supposed to be here."
How did we get here?
So you know what I don't get what's killing me about this? The way that for me, his explanation, and I'm definitely gonna watch this, but as he goes to explain it, I think that he recognizes that from society's standpoint, it does look creepy. She was under 18 because, and I think that he's trying to figure out justifying or differentiating, make what a distinction without a difference between age of consent and legal age per law. As in, you can legally consent to certain acts. Typically, what is it around? It depends on what state, but could be mostly 16 is like the higher level. Some of it is 14, but at 16 you can do what you do. But I think that he knows it looks grimy if this person that you're 20 years older than is not an legal adult. And he's trying to drive that point home to justify his PD, Ophi, act seeming behavior. And that's what I got to say. If they're happy and fine, but I'm telling you, she's gonna be getting the depends by the case and gonna be mad about it.
Case. So Sass said that Kylie Jenner and was with Tiger, Tiger, right? When she was 15/16, and the media never said boo about it, shaking my head. You know what? That's facts. Another questionable relationship. You telling facts. And so Robin, they said that she's gonna get the Walgreens brand. Okay. What are your thoughts on this situation?
This this was a lot because Marques Houston, from what we understand, does not have the best childhood circumstances.
Right.
And there were some allegations that things may have possibly happened to him as a child. And when we look at it from that standpoint, it puts you in a different mind frame. Some people grow up faster. Mm-hmm. Some people mature slower. Some people just look for different things. And if that is the case, then I think that if the situation that possibly happened is the case, then I think that that may be the reason that maybe he has gone so young. And we don't know what has happened to her. So maybe things have happened to her that has made her go a little older. Or, she may have been a little more mature, So I just feel like it is very different perspectives. But I would love to know her parents' thoughts. Like, what were the parents? Was this a money move? Where does this young lady come from? I think that is my biggest question with this story, because it was just like, boom, he popped up out the blue. He was married to this 19-year-old girl. It was just an unfolding of a story. And so I really don't feel like that 17 is the first time that they met and interacted together, in my opinion. That's my opinion. Their relationship seems to be too close and connected for someone to just be 2 years in and all of a sudden we just like, boom, in love with each other. Like, especially to have a 20-year age gap, there is nothing that you can have in common. I mean, Marques, you're at the age that you're preparing to settle down and, get life in order. Ma'am, you're preparing to come into life, literally. Like, you're just coming into life. So it's a lot to unpack here. It's a lot to unpack.
Mm-hmm. So Roya and Roberta, yes, that was the person I believe they claimed did a little something. sometimes when that happens to people, they do get stuck at the age in which it happened. So I do get I understand, your side in this particular situation, and I get it, right? Um, I still don't like this. And yes, I would like to know about the parents. And I wonder too, would the parents would have been okay with it if this was not a known name, if this was the average grown man trying to be up in their daughter face? Would they have been okay with it? That would they have given their blessing? I just get baffled by how people get blinded by the dollar bill, by some green money. Like it kills me. It's like all morals go out the door when the person has money. Oh, we gonna let what's his name, Nick Cannon, act a fool because he has money. Like, are we serious right now? Like, I don't get it with this money thing. It's like so crazy to me. So did they allow this to go down simply because he had money? I'm not saying that all the girls that was with R. Kelly, their parents just signed off on it, but there was many, I think, that allowed them to go to his studio or whatever because he had money. Okay, there were kids that spent the night at Michael Jackson's Neverland, and my kid would have never ever spent the night at Neverland without me and being right next to me. It's just crazy. But fame, it drives people out of their mind. I am Leo Aries. What are your thoughts on this situation?
I do agree with Roy Air. I do think that something happened in Marques Houston's childhood, and he may be emotionally stunted.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, he understood enough to clean it up, to say I met her when I was 17, and then I didn't date her until she was 18. He knew enough to clean it up. It's still the same type of parameter. It's still the same type of gauge. Generally, when older men, especially when they want them in their teens, they like those that are not quite, women or men who are not quite developed. They don't have their own, they don't know their own personality quite yet. I'm not to say I'm not going to sit here and say the girl may not be mature. I was mature at 18. I worked, I paid my own bills, all that kind of stuff. But there's still things that you need to learn about yourself that you do not know in your teens. Mm-hmm. And to have a whole marriage and a whole baby with someone like Marques Houston, not your regular, cook fry at the Bojangles. I mean, we are talking about someone who has celebrity. I'm quite sure that made a part of her decision to marry him. Mm-hmm. I mean, I just don't know how a 37-year-old man is attracted to a 17-year-old enough to marry her if there is not some type of emotional development that has not taken place. What do you? I have 17-year-old children. I mean, what kind of conversations are you having? What are you talking about?
Child, they can't get their life together or get anything right, even when you write it down on a piece of paper step by step. Be like, Ma, I forgot my wallet. Child, bye. Let me tell you something. The other problem I'm having here too is that means this girl most likely didn't go to college. She didn't get to experience her life. You know what I mean? She definitely didn't get to probably work a job where she, she's automatically under his wing. So he's her end all be all. She probably doesn't have any money outside of him. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, he gets to control everything. And to go from your parents' house right into this man's home, it's just a dangerous scenario to me. I wonder if they have a prenup. I'm just wondering because I hope that she has the wherewithal and the smarts and the brains to, while she is there. But see, she has put herself in a position like when you're raising a young kid, it's I don't want to use the word hard, but it's challenging to try to do other things and you have a newborn. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, but I hope that at some point she builds something outside of him, because you never know what can happen, and you don't want to be.
She don't have that kind of foresight though, Diva. I can promise you that she believe he is her end all and be all, and she got the fairy tale happy life that she's always thought that she was gonna have, because she's 20 years old and went from her mama house to this man house, and probably he has more money and more standing than her mama had. So I just, she didn't go to college. She ain't made her own money. She don't understand the ins and outs of what it takes to survive on your own. So she's totally, most likely relying on him, unfortunately.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is it, you know, I don't want to use the word stuck, but she in it now. She in it. She done gave birth to the little one, and little one gorgeous. But you know, we're going to keep our eye on this situation and see how it turns out. Chef Kev, do you have any thoughts?
Hello, sorry, I was on mute. So this is not the first one because Prince met his wife at 16, so we
Oh,
knew something was yeah. So
Which
this ain't the
wife was
first.
that, Kev? Which
The one
wife?
the one he married, the Spanish girl.
That was
Um,
the
in the
diva,
video,
the what, RB divas or something like that.
I don't know. I know she was in his video. She had like all white on, but he hired her father to work for him. He
mm,
when she met at 16, he hired her father to
Might
work
be
for him.
right.
So that right there is telling you what was going on. You paying the father, he was basically pimping his daughter, the same way a lot of these things are doing. Like
God, that's trash.
my thought process is the same thing because it's funny. Me and my brother had this conversation. Like you got to see me. You got to see. Like there's no way that's going to happen. You don't see me. You know what I mean? And so for him to meet her at 17, like I said, where was her father at? Where was her mom at? What was her situation? What's her background? You know what I mean? And so it's I mean, but it has happened. Like we acting as if it's new. It's not new. Hugh Hefner was sleeping with 18, 19 year olds till the day he died. So this is nothing new. That's it.
oh, Hugh Hefner. Oh my. Okay, Chef Cab, you are slacking on the drink, so get yourself together before we have to go back to HR, because Paige said, "Where is her drink?" Okay, Chef Cab
Not
said,
a
"Where's her
complaint.
drink?"
Whatever.
Not
He's
a
already got the
complaint.
PIP.
Get yourself together, Chef Cat. But
Right.
you know what? You do bring up some very good points. This is stuff that's been going on for a long time. Yes, Hugh Hefner got away with it. He was the ultimate playboy. That was his company. He definitely was the ultimate playboy. So I do get what you're saying. Still doesn't make it right. It's still a whole hot mess. But I don't like the way this sounds. But E, what are your thoughts?
Well, y'all know me by now. This
Uh-oh.
topic is near
Need
to
to
me,
bring it.
and this what I got to say ain't gonna be nothing nice. Now, Diva,
Come on with it.
you said he was a playboy. I don't ever remember Roger or Marcus Houston being no play. I never. Jay Boog was my favorite, and Omarion. I don't even remember immature. Nothing about them was fine. But even if we don't know about that girl's mother and father,
Uh-huh.
we know Marcus.
Mm,
Marcus is supposed to know better. This
yeah.
ain't about them. This is about him. First of all, Marcus just became a Jehovah's Witness at 35.
Mm.
He's 41 now. He said that they bonded over faith when they met. He had only been a witness for 2 years. So basically, both of them were down there. Huh?
He met her in the Kingdom Hall. I was raised Jehovah's Witness. He met her in the Kingdom Hall.
I understand that. But if you just meet her and you 2 years in and you say y'all bonded over faith, that means neither one of you know anything about it yet. Y'all just got here. Y'all haven't seen anything long enough to be a witness. So, but then he said, "Oh, we friends. We friends as a grown woman, me. And on my birth certificate, it says real grown. It's nothing about me that's going down Sunday go to meeting with a 17-year-old boy and say, hey, y'all, this just my friend, y'all. It's nothing about me that's going to do that. That doesn't even sound right. Okay, let's be clear. If he was really that bonded to her, then why not encourage her as a mentor or from a big brother perspective?
Mm-hmm.
Why did he have to put that rotten and expired peen in her? It's ridiculous. Just because somebody stunted his growth doesn't mean he can inflict that harm onto someone else. Okay? This reminds me of my old 106 in Park days. The behavior of Marques Houston ain't nothing new. Marques Houston preyed on B2K when they were 12. And I still have the video on my laptop. Diva receipts in the register if necessary. I have the video. I have the video on my computer where Red B said that Chris Stokes and them was doing unthinkable things and how they put J Boog and him in a room together and made them give each other love on top. And Raz B said that Fizz took it in the Sunshine State. I'm not saying allegedly because I heard this. No, I heard this with my own 2 ears and saw it with my own 2 eyes, and I can play the audio for you right now. Marques has dibbled and dabbled and explored with that 40-year-old pain, and you better know it. So let me conclude with this. I don't remember him saying Marques Houston did this definitively to him, but the fact is Marques was involved. And if you see something and don't say something, you are complicit. And so Raz said Marques knew about it. So how can you all be at the same hotels and travel everywhere together and you don't know these boys are being mishandled? Something is not right. So when we fast forward 20 years later, you're still with people who are way younger than you. Okay? This grown behind man walking around with this girl 20 years younger than him and calling her his wife, and he done burdened her with a daughter. Okay? That girl doesn't even know who she is yet. And you made her somebody's mother? That girl ain't traveled without adult supervision. She ain't been to nobody's civics class and learned her civil rights. She ain't learned how to stand at the stove. She hasn't learned to stand at the stove and make no white rice yet. You have to know what I'm talking about. That's crazy to me. I find this to be extremely problematic, predatory, and it's itchy. It makes me itchy. They met when she was 17, allegedly, and he was 37. That's somebody's daughter. And I'm like, Chef Kev, where are her brothers, her uncles, or her grandfathers? Why don't I see all the black
right there in the Kingdom Hall.
Why don't I see the black fathers in the community making an uproar about this? The same way they do about overweight black women wearing eyelashes and wigs. Let's make an uproar about this, okay? Now, and the Republicans, I can't let you get a taste too. The Republicans spend too much time talking about protect the kids from planned miscarriages, protect the kids from Disney, protect the kids from the LGBT, protect the kids from the Black history. Seems like we're protecting the kids from everything except weapons of mass destruction and predatory men. That's what I see. They're passing every, I don't know why y'all laughing. I'm being serious. They're passing every kind of law except to condemn and add more prison time to these men who prey on these young girls and burden them with babies. This country does not care about girls. The way we let girls fly to the DR and get BBLs like a Wendy's 4-for-4, knowing they're hungry. Why are you laughing? I'm being serious. I'm being serious. We don't care about women in this country, especially women who are single mothers. When we tell women, oh, you should have picked better, and chastise women for filing for child support because raising kids on a single income is hard work, we don't care about battered women because as easy as it is for a man to get out who committed DV and get out of jail the next day, there is no protection. So when we say protect the kids, I want everybody to stick to your word and protect them. Don't just protect them at the infant level, protect them in adulthood. It's no reason to isolate the protection to children. If you respect, protect, and promote humanity, everybody should be protected. Protect humanity. That's what I have to say.
Oh my God, I'm weak.
Why are y'all laughing? And I'm being serious.
Oh my God.
I'm dead.
I'm not delivering this. I'm not laughing. Leo is not laughing.
Okay. Oh my God.
Your
I'm so weak
analogies
right
were
now.
funny, E. Not what you're talking about. Your
Yeah.
analogies and examples
Uh,
that you used were hilarious.
oh
So,
my
Oh,
God.
okay.
but what
Thank
you
y'all.
said,
Okay.
everything that you said was factual, very factual, very, very factual.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Thank you.
That's
Um,
factual. That's factual.
Star, you're up next. What are your thoughts on this situation? The door
Hey
to
Diva.
church is open. That's right. Amen. Amen.
Hey Diva. Hey panel.
I'm listening. Hey.
So I'm gonna have the unpopular opinion,
Okay.
but I think a deeper conversation needs to happen because I see this happen way too often where families pimp out their daughters.
Yeah.
I have friends who were married to NBA players
Okay.
and met them at a very young age,
Mhm.
15, 16, and the
Mhm.
families did not care because it was their meal ticket.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Also, when you go to barbecues, your uncles be trying to put you on their friends, knowing you young and don't belong with their old friends, what they call them, the barbecue sandals.
Oh my.
So
The
I
what?
just feel like this type of thing happens way too often because again, certain families or members of families are accepting of it, especially if it comes with a certain dollar amount.
Mm.
Um, in this situation, I just think it's just really sad. I had my son at 19, so I know for sure, like Eva saying, this girl don't know how to cook rice. Heck, she don't even know how to make Kool-Aid. Cause I know I didn't.
Mm,
I'm just getting to a
mm.
point where I'm like figuring it out, and I'm in my 30s. You know what I mean? So
Right.
it's really no way that, in my opinion, that she can really understand or even be with somebody that's up in their 40s. Like he's experienced all type of things.
Right.
So that was just my little two
She's
cents.
growing up. She's gonna grow up with her husband, and that's the thing, right? It's like
Yeah,
she's gonna literally grow up with her husband. And my thing was like, he could have like, I don't know who would have told her. Like, I feel like some protection should have been put in place so that why have the baby so fast? Listen, the baby's here. The baby's gorgeous. I'm not speaking against that, but I'm like, be a couple for a minute. So he didn't even give her an opportunity, and she's
Well,
so
they've
young.
been a couple. That's why it's so fast, because they've been a couple.
Well, that's facts.
yeah. And you have some men that are infatuated with this whole "oh she's pure" thing. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? So
That's
he
what it
probably.
was.
I,
Mm-hmm.
That's what it was. That's what it was.
yeah, I
Because
do.
in Jehovah's Witnesses culture, he
Uh-huh.
met her when she was 17. But what they do is that they date until they can get married to have sex. So that is the reason why he went and married her so quickly so they can have sex. She was 7. She was definitely 17 when they met. I'm quite sure they did a little bit of talking. They do the chaperoning thing. You can never be alone because he already knew he wanted to have sex with her at 17. But it was celebrated. I'm telling y'all that once she turned 18 and 19 and they were able to get married, that marriage was celebrated. And it's ugly. I'm just giving you the facts because I've
Right.
seen it for so many years. It's ugly, it's predatory, and predators go to religion
Mm-hmm.
because their motives are not questioned within the cloak of religion.
Well, you spoke a fact right there. You spoke a fact
So
right
did.
there. They go, and because a lot
Look,
of times those people are vulnerable. You're vulnerable in the church, especially a lot of single females, vulnerable in the church because you probably been hurt. You're looking for a good man, and where they going to tell you in the church to find a good man? The man of God that's probably sitting right next to you. And you might even be encouraged by the people in the church. Speak to this good man of God that's sitting right here next to you. He not going to do you dirty. And he probably worse than the man across the street in a bar.
oh Diva,
Sure
can I say
is.
You know what I'm
something?
saying? At least you know the one in the bar, he is who he is. He ain't hiding it.
And that's it, true about it, telling you the truth.
That part,
Diva,
okay? You know what you getting into. That one that's sneaking up on you, paying the tithes with you, child, he paying them tithes because he know that's what you do. And the minute he get with you, that's when his true colors is going to show up. And I'm not saying all of them. I'm just saying you got to be careful. Go ahead.
Eva.
What did you want to say? Then I'm gonna come to LaDon. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Listen, you better tell the truth and stay in church, because yes, they go to these places and they expect women, especially older women, to lower the standards. And I heard one man say, at that age, you should be giving it away. Like, they think so less of older women, and they prize these women who don't know anything so they can control them. Like you said, you walk into that church, you'll walk out with somebody like Rocky Bivens. So be careful.
Be
And
careful.
and Royer Scott, could you please raise up the Kim Zodiac red cup, please? I think everyone in the chat should be able to see that. And lastly, someone someone in the chat said I talk like a Jamaican or something like that, and I am part Jamaican. For Paige, I think Paige said that. So thank Paige, you are right.
So Juice Radio and Talk Show, thanks for being here. Y'all stop looking for a good man in the church, because they may not be man at a child. Listen.
Oh, whoops! Come on up here, Juice. That's right. Tell your story.
That's right. And listen, no, Juice is married, but she's speaking facts there. And Juice, I want to say, Juice, correct me if I'm wrong. Saturday, listen, if y'all watch SWV and Escape, okay, and the Scott sisters, she got a part 2 interview with the dad on Saturday at noon. So go over there and check that out, y'all, on the Juice Radio and Talk Show. Just like
it came out.
No, she's doing it Saturday. Just like the her name is written here in her title, so you could go over there, check her page out. Yes, Friday at noon. Thank you, Aaron. Okay, I thought it was Saturday. Thank you, Aaron, for correcting me. It's Friday at noon, guys. Friday at noon Eastern Standard Time. So go.
Aaron, you so pretty.
Isn't she right? Aaron is the best. Like she be on it. She be on it. Okay. Aaron got that thing together. Thank you, guys. All right. Aaron, do me a favor. You could throw Juice's channel in the chat for me, because you're good with that. I'm the worst. Okay. So anyway, okay. So yeah, LaDon, what do you have to say about this situation?
Ciao. I'm gonna tell you, this is years ago, because I'm 50. Okay. But years ago, we didn't have a lot of information. We was like just on the whim, on our own, out there learning and bumping our head as we go. But now all the snakes are coming out the woodworks. Everything is just coming out. He was a part of that group, Immature. They already had some craziness going on. Remember with that?
Hey, LaDon. Huh? You said just went boom in my head. I had an aha moment. What's the name of the group?
Immature. Yes.
Go ahead.
Yep. So he was already in that weird kind of bunch, you know what I mean, with Chris Stokes and them, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So this is not the only young guy in that era, like that Disney boy, Keenan, the brothers or whatever that used to, the comedian brothers, Good Burgers or something.
Yes, I know you're talking about. Yes.
They're not brothers though.
He's the same with his young girlfriend and grew up with her and then started treating her a certain way. You know what I mean? So I'm saying Marques, yes, he is Jehovah's Witness, but I think that's just a layer. Mm-hmm. I think he's strange and a weirdo anyway. And I feel sorry for these young, naive girls. We were taught back in the days, you don't do as I say, do as I do, or whatever. Don't speak unless, you know what I'm saying, you're spoken to, a child stays in the child's place, whatever. Nowadays, people hide a little too much. Mm-hmm. I think you don't hide what's going on. The language changes as you talk to them, because they have these naive little girls out here that fall for the okey doke, the glitz and the glamour. You know, I believe this little girl was probably a fan because he started with Moesha back then. He was already getting little parts. And I think she was just so infatuated that he brainwashed her and it became Stockholm syndrome and he locked her away. And when she became 18, it is legal. Can't nobody say nothing. He was not going to, he already knew he was going to have a baby with her, but he was not going to do it before that 18th birthday. This was all predatory. Oh my God, it's sickening. And it's happening more and more. God knew what he did when he gave me 3 boys and 1 girl. Because I'm telling you, chastity belt, I would have put it on her. It's so sad.
It's very sad, but again, I don't know her parents. I'm just, throwing stuff out there. But let me move on. Hey, Juanita,
Hi,
Juanita.
Hey.
I missed
Welcome
y'all.
to the train, honey. Welcome to the train. We missed you. What's up?
I know. I've been getting ready to prepare for a women's retreat that I'm gonna be a speaker at.
Oh,
so
nice.
I've been having to kind of I've been on like a spiritual journey,
Nice.
doing some things. But I'm back.
Well, we're glad you're here. So
I missed y'all.
We missed you too. So we're talking about Marques Houston and his young wife. What are your thoughts?
Marques Houston and his young wife. Now you know what? I might be late on that because I don't know what's going on. What's going on?
Okay, don't worry, because I got another, because this is a quick train ride tonight. Don't worry.
Okay.
I got another story I'm about to bring up because this whole segment of trending topics today is about questionable relationships. Okay.
Well, now I can tell you about that Latasha.
Well, no, we're not talking about her tonight. I don't want to get the train off the track.
Okay.
About her tonight, I don't want to get the train off the track. We're talking about questionable relationship. We just got a question mark, okay? We just got some questions, okay?
Okay.
So now I'm gonna bring up. I love Karambo, okay? Because I told you I watch him when I'm with my dad. My dad loves him. So I got another one, and this segment is the grandmother. In my opinion, the grandma is a little toxic. Now, let me give you a little background on this story. The grandmother is taking care of her daughter's kids. Unfortunately, her daughter passed away, right? And so, but before her daughter even passed away, she had a toxic relationship with her daughter. And I feel like this grandmother is taking out everything she wanted to take out on the daughter. She's taking it out on her granddaughter. So let me see that screen. We're going to watch this and then we're going to talk about it. Hold on one second. Let me see where I have it at.
Diva gonna make me watch Karamo. You're gonna convince me that it's a show I might want to
Let me see. Let me tell you, I love it. Let me just make sure I still have it up here. It is okay. Here it is. Here it is. Okay, guys.
Get ready to cry.
I gotta make sure we can hear it. Okay, y'all ready? I hope it ain't no music in here. I tried to cue it up where it wasn't.
Okay, hold on. How long is this, Diva? How long is this?
I'm not playing the whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah, no. I ain't gonna do that because I get in trouble. I'm gonna stop it there. At the end, they do hug. This one right here, it's a lot.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
The grandma.
Me too, Diva. That hit me hard.
Yeah.
That's crapola.
Woo, it's a lot. It's a lot.
It is.
So we're gonna go around because the grandmother is tired. But my thing is, if you didn't want to raise the kids, they probably would have been better off somewhere else.
Right.
Because when you can slap your granddaughter, when you could tell her you're going to power in the foot, when you call your granddaughter a bitch, somebody's crackling. It's a lot. So I want to go around. We're going to get everybody's thoughts on this. Juice Radio, I'm glad you came up. I'm going to start at the bottom and work my way up. What are your thoughts on this? That clip I showed from Karambo, and I encourage everybody to go see the whole clip. I can't show the whole thing, and I hope I don't get dinged for showing the piece that I showed. But Juice Radio, what are your thoughts?
Hey, Diva and crew, and hey, everybody. Thank you so much, Diva, for having me on again tonight. I had to rush off my platform and come over here to you and support you because the love is there for you. I couldn't really comment on the previous one, so I was like, I'm going to just stay in these chats. But when this video came up, I have to say, Diva, it tugged at my heart because this is what I want to try to stop and prevent from happening in families. The mother, I don't think a lot of people, the grandmother, I don't think a lot of people may have picked this up, but I want to point it out. The grandmother, I would love to know what her history was with her growing up.
Yes, yes.
Because it sounds as though there's a lot that she went through, and now that she's of age to be the boss, she now wants to have this, demeanor with everything that's going on. I feel like she really does love her granddaughter, but I don't think that the grandmother was shown real love during her bringing up. And I think that's why she's having a hard time showing the love to her daughter. And I feel as though in my spirit, I'm going to say, I feel as though the grandmothers growing up had a lot of negativity to do with women. Because of the reflection that she's showing towards the young girl. But I do believe she loves her. And I think grandma's got some humor in there too, because when she's talking about, taking something and damaging her foot, I won't say it on your channel because I know I don't want to get flagged, but that was straight out of Harlem Nights.
The pinky toe.
Yeah, the pinky toe. I think she was trying to be comical. But we also have to look at this, and then I'll pass it on to the next panelist. I believe that the grandmother still has not dealt with or hasn't had an opportunity to deal with her own daughter's passing.
100%.
She had to jump right into and continue the steps of taking care of these children. So she hasn't fully dealt with that. And there may be some resentment towards the young girl and the other children because the daughter is not there. There's a lot, but I would love to really see the rearing up. I would love for the grandmother to speak with somebody, a professional, and find out what was going on in her past. Now, the young girl, I mean, the tears and that heartfelt, I understand it. She may have been doing some things that was a little sassy, according to grandma. But at that very moment when she was speaking with Karamo, I think she was trying to reach out to the grandmother to let her know, these are the things that you've done to hurt me. And saying that she's reminding them of her parents that are not there anymore can be very hurtful to the daughter, so the granddaughter. So I'm praying they get some healing, but grandma's got to start with the healing on herself first.
Right.
100%.
Yes.
Grandma got a lot of healing to do because when you want to call your granddaughter a B,
yeah.
Yeah,
that's why I said it has something to do with girls. It has something to do with girls or in the past.
You caught that, and I believe you are right because she said, "I raised enough girls. I had enough. That's why I was the boys and let you go." And the slap her and to call the cops on her. I didn't play the piece, but she kicked out the car, called the cops on her. Grandma is having a toxic relationship with her granddaughter.
Right.
Very toxic. Juanita, your thoughts?
Oh, I think it's sad. Both of them need therapy, and it's like you said. You don't know what the mom's childhood was like or how she was reared as a child. I feel sorry for the young lady because anytime you're called out of your name or threatened, that's bringing down your self-esteem.
Right.
And then to compare her to her parents, you don't know how that child is grieving over her parents or what happened. We don't know what happened. But then again, the grandmother's grieving too. She has issues. And first, grandma got to work on her mouth, her words. You know, the way that you approach a child. I mean, sometimes we can learn from younger children. I'm a grandmother raising two grandsons, and you can learn from them. And sometimes you have to listen. You just can't up and just dog them out all the time. You have to listen to what they say, and then after they speak, if you don't agree with them, then you have a reasonable conversation saying, "Well, this we don't. You don't do You do as I say and not as I do. That's the kind of mentality it seems like grandma was raised in. You don't ask me no questions. I tell you I'm the boss. But it's like that in this day and time. Things are more sensitive. When you know better, you do better.
You do. And but you know what though? Grandma is definitely still hurting for what happened to her daughter. Because
She is.
if you caught when she said she went out there and did something I told her
Right.
not to do,
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
on,
I caught
right?
that.
You heard that?
Mm-hmm.
And it translates to why she has a tracker on little mama.
Right.
She doesn't want the same
It's the same
result.
thing that happened to her.
She doesn't want
Exactly.
the same thing to happen. So I can feel her in a lot of areas, but I still don't like her language and her violence to smack
Right.
the girl and calling the girl a B. But
And
I
I
understand
think both of them should have counseling. They all probably
100%.
all of them.
100%. Now, greetings, Earthlings. You know what? Thank you for sharing. I do appreciate you. I caught this and I wanted to bring it back up. You said my grandmother took care of me and my siblings because our mother was on drugs. Grandma ended up becoming demented when I was 11. Then we went into foster care. My grandmother was the best thing I had. And you know what? Greetings, Earthling, for you and a whole bunch of children out there.
That's me.
Yes. Okay, LaDon, and I'm getting ready to come to you. I appreciate y'all sharing.
Mhm.
The grandparents are everything.
Right.
Yes.
Grandparents are taking care of a lot of kids.
Right.
And
Right.
so her as a grandmother, it's a high level responsibility because the child is already hurting. They don't have
Right.
their parents. And
Mhm.
so now they have you, and instead of them getting unconditional love, they're getting this brokenness because grandma is still broken herself. But I think grandma in this scenario, I think she blames herself a lot for her
For
own
her
daughter's
daughter.
passing.
Right.
And that
Mhm.
stems a lot of her pain and her anger. And
Mhm.
probably the little girl looks a lot like the mother. They showed us that picture on there, but you know, that picture we can't really tell. She
Right.
probably looks a lot like her mother, and it's not.
It just bring back memories.
Yeah, that part. That part. Okay, Ladon, you're up. What are your thoughts?
Okay, well, my thoughts are that woman is sick. My grandmother raised me also. My mother was on drugs and she died of AIDS. And my grandmother has 17 kids of
Wow.
her own. And my grandfather had one eye because he got shot in the eye in the gambling house, but he still was working. He was a construction worker and he took care of his family and his grandkids. My grandmother protected us. She was a big woman, big mama. We used to lay up on her boobs. We were so warm. She didn't let nobody mess with us. That language that you just like your mama. When my grandfather used to get drunk and come out his mouth and say that, my James, and she'll go after him. You better leave them kids alone.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is so wrong. I would
Mhm.
rather a person not take them.
Mm-hmm.
It don't even have nothing to do with her daughter. That goes deeper. That
Right.
goes how they treated her. They screwed her up. And
Mm,
then when she had her own kids, because she's a woman that love with conditions because
mm-hmm.
she don't know how to love, so
Right.
she loves with conditions. As long as you're doing what she wants you to do the way she wants you to do it, she will give you the world. But as soon as you have your own opinion, she'll strip you of everything and you everything in the book. You heard that little girl, she called me all kinds of names and say I'm doing this with boys. She said I would never let no boy. And they used to do that. Some of my aunts used to do that to me and my cousin because it was me, the only kid, my mother on drugs. It was my other cousin, her mother on drugs, and it was my other cousin. And my grandmother kept us three in the home. And they used to talk about us, my aunt. Oh, LaDawn's going to be pregnant first because I was the fighter and the more loud one.
Wow.
Melody was the quiet, sneaky one. And Kim was just a follower. So LaDawn's going to be pregnant first. Melody's gonna be last and Kim's gonna be next. And guess what order it went? Melody first, Kim second, and LaDawn last. You know what I'm saying? But my aunts and them did that, but my grandmother into that household, she did not tolerate that. She protected us. She did everything for us with love. And you know what? Sometimes I used to blame her for not giving us enough discipline, but then I realized she was parenting out of guilt. It was like them kids don't got their mama, leave them kids alone. She did the best she could. She got us dressed every Wednesday. We went to the jail to see our mother. She'll get our hair done, dress us. She got us to that visit every Wednesday and once a month on Sunday for Family Day to visit our mothers in jail. She didn't talk about our mothers to us. Your mother love you. She's sick. That ain't got nothing to do with you. She'll be around. When my mother came, get ready. You're going with your mama. She didn't keep us away. It wasn't that kind of thing. And we grew up in the ghetto. You know what I mean? But we just owned our house in the ghetto. You know what I'm saying? But that woman is sick. I feel so sorry for that little girl, but I hope she gets the help. She got a guidance counselor or somebody, or some women that she's taking little pieces of to create who she wants to be. And I hope she succeeds no matter what.
I do too. You know what, LaDon, first of all, thank you for sharing. Your grandmother was a grandmother, okay? Because let me tell you something. To be strong enough to say, you know what, that's still your mom. You're going to respect her.
Yes.
Home get here, took you down to that jail to see your mom. When your mom showed up, she let you go with the mom. She didn't get all crazy or anything like that. And you know, I dealt with drugs in my family. And similar to the way that your grandmother handled it, that's the way my family handled it. Still your uncle, that's still your cousin. They got an issue. We're not gonna throw them away. We're not gonna talk about them. You going to when they show up for the holidays, they sitting at this table with the rest of us.
That's right.
You know what? I respect, and you know, I respect people that can do that, but it taught me something indirectly, right? And indirectly, it taught me to have compassion for people no matter what the situation is, right? And so could be how I ended up in nursing, could not be, I don't know. But it taught me how to have compassion for people. And I really, you know, it's funny how some illnesses, like they can look at as a medical condition, and others they look at as, oh, that's just the person not having discipline. And it really bothers me, right? So alcoholism, they look at as more as a medical condition, right? But when somebody's on drugs, they act as if like that person had more control and work care or whatever. I don't want to get emotional in here, but I really appreciate you for sharing. And I really love when someone can take that approach to say that, because we're all human. We're only one bad decision away from being in the same spot as somebody. And so, you know, and I thank God all the time that, you know, I never touched drugs. I never touched alcohol. Don't think I'm better than anybody. I can thank God that was not my affliction. Now, shopping is a whole nother issue. And I tell people all the time, don't pray for me. Don't pray against my shopping. Just pray that I have the money that I can shop. That's all I need you to do, okay? But your grandmother did a good thing, and God bless her, and God bless you, and thank you for sharing. Truly.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. E, you're next. What are your thoughts?
I'm sorry, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. I'll say this. I believe that little girl 10,000% when she says the grandmother doesn't listen to her without her flipping it and turning it around back to how the grandmother feels, because she did it in that clip. She made it all about her. And that little girl was on the brink of tears. And the granny didn't even have an inclination to reach over and say, I didn't mean it that way, baby. Yeah. I mean, any type of emotion. And the girl looks just like her grandmother, if you ask me, and talk back just like her too. That's where she get that mouth from that the grandmother can't stand.
Yeah.
This grandmother is overprotective. And when you suffocate any living thing, whether it is a son, a daughter, or a kitchen plant, it will strive for sunlight and freedom, or it will pass.
Mm,
Life will always find a way to be free.
mm,
The colonizers couldn't even keep the slaves under rule. It may have taken 400 years to be free, but freedom reigned. These kids are not waiting 400 years for freedom, and you cannot control them. It's too much internet, too much easy access to meet new people, and they're too equipped and educated with tools to feel restricted in speaking up. This is the era. There's no more keeping quiet. We're not keeping quiet. We're speaking up. I don't care what these Republicans tell you. I don't care how they raised kids in the 80s, the 70s, and the 60s. It's a new time. These kids have personalities and they have a right to be different. They have a right to date and they have rights over their bodies. Let these kids live before you lose them. And it's too many parents out here who are so opinionated about everything going on in the streets and haven't even seen or spoken to their own kids in decades. I'll tell you something. I have a friend who works at the courthouse. And do you all know how many adult name changes get filed every year? It's so many sons who do not want to carry their father's last name, and daughters too. They don't even want to pass that name and energy down to their children. So we have to stop thinking that we can manipulate and gaslight these children because they're younger. Just because they're younger, it doesn't mean they're not educated. And we should not be bullying them into submission because that submission is temporary. Your kids should not follow your lead because, no, let me say this better. Your kids should follow your lead because they respect you, not because they fear you. When your child follows you because they fear you, they will eventually strengthen up, speak up, and cut you off. And the example I'll close with is Tamika Scott. You can't tell me Gloria never ruled over Tamika with a heavy hand and a few bad words. But oh, happy day. Even at the age of 50, Tamika Scott said, enough is enough. Trust me. You treat me better or I'll cut you off. And there's nothing like making it to your 70s and being cut off from your kids right before you need them the most. We have to be careful how we handle this next generation because they don't stick around long. People don't even stick around in marriages long enough. The average tenure for marriage is 5 years. You think people gonna stick around and put around with aunties acting up and grandmas acting up? No. Treat people better. And if you lack the tools because you weren't equipped when you were growing up, like Royer said earlier, we have to educate ourselves. You have to get counseling. They have videos on YouTube because nobody is perfect. Like Diva said, we're all one bad mistake away. Listen, I've had to learn. I'm very opinionated, but you know what I have to do? I get on here and run my mouth and I get opinionated. But when I'm with the people in my everyday life, I know for a fact people do not like know-it-alls. And just because something is good for me, it doesn't mean it's good for somebody else. So YouTube is my outlet where I get to be opinionated and do all those things. But I would never say some of the things I say to some of my loved ones and the people close to me, because they'll be like, girl, if you don't get out of here. So we have to know our boundaries.
Yes.
And we have to treat kids like they are little humans and not our property.
Yeah.
So I'll close with that.
Well said. Yeah, we really, really do. Auntie Robin, I'm gonna come to you and then I'll come back down to Chef Kev and I am Leo.
I found that incredibly sad. I lived with my grandmother most of my life. And we all lived together.
Okay.
And I could not imagine. She never had a cross word. She spoke to me. She listened to me. She taught me so much. I could see that this grandmother didn't even seem to have just a regular conversation about life. It was, she was angry because the girl said she had a boyfriend. Instead of talking to her through that and about that and what that meant, she became violent. Her reaction was so stern and so volatile. It really got me, like, my blood pressure raised and my face just got hot because it hurt my feelings to know that you could treat your family like that. You're going to turn around and slap. girl, I feel for her, and I'm really really sorry that she's has to live with her. We all deserve much better than that. That's it.
Yeah. I I am Leo Aries. What are your thoughts?
I live with my great grand and my mother. And my great grand raised my mother because her mother, I never knew my grandmother because my mother did not want her. So my great grand raised my mother, and when she became, after my mother got married and had all of us, she moved her grandmother, actually not her real mother, into the house, and we lived with her. And I'll say this about the grandmother. The grandmother is broken. She is broken, and I want to put out prayers and sympathy to her because life has broken her, and the recipient of that is that grandchild. My great grand was very, and I'm a boisterous. I got a loud mouth. I was raised authoritarian, but my spirit was never broken. So I can understand the grandmother in her sense of fear because of her own experience with her own daughter and trying to raise this grandchild in this world that the grandmother clearly does not understand. She does not understand the world that this granddaughter is being reared in, the influences around her, and is not trusting the raising that she has put into this child. I pray for them, and I do also feel bad for this young girl. You can tell that she loves her grandmother and she wants her grandmother's approval, but she still wants to be able to be trusted to live her own life. And I really, I don't know what the outcome. I'm going to look at this interview after this live just so I can see if some steps, some counseling, something has been put in place for this family, because this is not the end of it. It's being exposed, hopefully, to have a resolution so this young girl can be able to flourish, and the grandmother can heal some of her own old wounds that she slapped that child. I cannot believe she slapped that child. Lord have mercy.
They called her a B. I mean, the words that was coming out her mouth, and I mean, joking or not, and to say I'm a pow you in the foot. I mean, it was just a lie. It was just a lie. I was just staring at the screen like this can't be so. Chef Kev, what are your thoughts?
Hey, oh wow. I think y'all a bunch of punks. I've seen worse. I seen my sister knocked across the head. My daughter got knocked across the head because she ran her mouth. You show out, you show out. I mean, that's it. You speak out, you get showed out. That's way you show out, you get worn out. That's what it was coming to my family. Okay, because if you don't check your kids in the house, they get checked in them streets, and them streets check way different than in the crib. It took a classmate of my daughter's to get shot in the head for her to realize.
Okay, you got to be careful with the words on YouTube.
I'm sorry. But for her to get, and it's like, even though it happened, it was so wrong. It was wrong what the lady did to this young lady who was going to college. But she wouldn't shut up. So she pulled out a gun and busted her in the head. And I had to let her know, this is how the streets check. They don't check you like you get checked at home. They put their hands on you, they may not stop. And some people don't need to get touched. Some people do. I was raised, I was more afraid of my parents than anybody. And sometimes it came to a point, and it came to a point where, like, even growing up, I thought they was hard on me. And my mom said we was raising black men in Brooklyn, New York, and I had to really look at it. If you go, it's the old picture, my boy got it, of our baseball team. By 18, It was what, 21 of us on the team? Less than 10 was alive. Them streets check different. She lost her daughter. This ain't no play living on the outside. She had to bury a daughter. So her concern is one thing. Now calling her the B word was a little bit much. But like I said, I've seen a lot worse. I see my mother kick my sister in the stomach and hit her with a cross right and dropped her.
Oh,
So a slap in the car? That's like Bernie Mac said, we some punk parents and just why kids running over us. You
Can I
sit up
say
in there.
something, Diva?
You
Yeah.
I'm
can't.
sorry, real quick. Please, Diva.
Hold on, Ladon.
Oh,
Hold on,
yeah.
everybody. Let me just add this to the conversation, Chef Kev. And this is everybody. So these are Chef Kev opinions, not divas. Okay.
I know.
And let me say this. Just like there's this saying, there's more than one way to skin a cat.
Mm-hmm.
There's several ways to raise up a child and discipline them and just show them right from wrong.
Right.
There's a whole bunch of kids. Listen, I grew up straight up in the hood, in the Bronx. Okay. I come from a single parent household. Know my dad very well, but my dad did not live with us. I hear noises. Somebody could mute for a second. My dad didn't live with us. And so my mother wasn't cursing me out, telling me off, kicking me down the stairs, beating me with a belt. She talked to us and let us know what was up and what we needed to do. And I turned out fine. I never lay a hand on my kid. My kid is at work right now, does very well in school, but he know I ain't no joke. But I never laid a hand on him. I think that this idea of the only way for someone to know is through what is actually violence. Okay, it's violence, right? When you want to
corporal punishment.
Huh?
Corporal punishment.
Yeah,
everything got to be head on.
That's not the only way to discipline and to let somebody know that the streets ain't no joke. There are plenty of people where they learned that way, and still it didn't help them when they was out in the streets. I mean, people are evil in the streets. They're gonna be evil in the streets. Innocent people get caught in the midst of stuff that goes on in the street. And I'm saying it that way because we got to watch our words on YouTube. So I get it that, you got to teach your kids, but to teach your kid, to tell a young lady, to be okay telling a young lady you're a B, to slap a young lady across the face because they got a mouth, that's not the way to do it. I mean, there's other ways to discipline your children, to teach them right from wrong. And I don't think that those options are the only options. And for me, it is not the option at all. So,
Diva, can I say something?
You can, but I promise, LaDon, I am Leo, and then I'm gonna come to you, E, to get into this situation, and then we're gonna try to wrap this thing up. So I just want us to move away from that thought process that the only way that kids will not be out of control is if you put this stern hand on them, and that's going to be the reason, that's going to be them like the end all be all, and now they're going to roll the straight line. I don't feel that way. I wasn't raised like that. I don't raise my kid like that, and he fine. And at the end of the day, these kids can be raised one way or the other. When they still walk out that door and go to the streets, they're gonna be their own person. I think that's kind of what you were saying, E. You're gonna grow into be your own person. They can't stay underneath our bubble. But I don't think a strict hand is the answer. But that's just me. And yes, I believe you too. Wait a second, Chef Cat. Nubian Mahogany, I believe you too. Violence begets violence. I'm not into that. I personally am not. Go, LaDon, let me go come to you. Go ahead. What was you going to say?
I was going to say, I grew up in a household where discipline was in different forms. You would have got a spanking or whatever. I was just smart. I watched them get one and I knew not to do it, but they didn't get beat down. They didn't get kicked in the stomach. They didn't get punched. They didn't get called names. They got it across their butt or a pop. Pop like that wasn't a continuous beat, and sometimes the belt a couple of times. But and my kids, I used to say, if X, Y, and Z didn't work, I will pop you, you know. But thank God I never had to, because I did talk to them and I did other things first. And they just learned quickly. They was just like, I ain't willing to go that far. So they didn't do those things. And I grew up in the ghetto, in the hood. I've been to jail. You know, my father just got out from doing 15 years. You know, beating is not everything, because even with her daughter, look the way she raised her daughter and the things she pushed her more out. Sometimes that can push you more out to the street. I'm not saying some kids don't deserve a pop, but I don't think that everything, the punishment got to fit the crime. Just because she say, don't tell me I'm like my mother, don't mean she is being so disrespectful. It warranted popping them out because she mentioned the boyfriend. That didn't warrant that. That was abusive. That's where we go from discipline to abuse. Because in Massachusetts, you can't pop your kid, but it's a way to pop your kid if you believe in that. What that woman is doing, and when people kick and punch their kids and call them names, that's straight up violence and abuse. That's not discipline.
Yeah,
and
That's
half
your
of those
opinion.
kids, and to me, half of those kids, like people I grew up with, was in jail on drugs and got beat and all that, and they still ended up on jail and on drugs. So how did that work out for you?
It didn't. Here's the thing, and even in this day and age, see, so when I was growing up, there was one TV in the house, right? And so part of our punishment was you won't get to see TV. There was no cell phones. There was no this. There was no that. So when you had to go in your room and be on punishment, you were solo with a book at best, okay? So now, though, the punishment is I'm taking your TV, your video game, your cell phone. So there's ways to hit them hard without even touching them, okay? Mm-hmm. When you say you got to give up that cell phone, they like to pass out, okay?
That hurts more.
That hurts more. I will call the carrier and shut that cell phone down, okay? We're not playing them games up in here. I will take that
Can I finish?
out your room. I'm going to come to you, Chef Cap. I will take that video game out your room. I got you, okay? I will shut my internet off and cut myself off too, just so you won't have nothing, okay? So it's ways to do discipline. Just as we grow and we evolve, and the world evolves, there are different ways to get at these kids that, trust me, you would never have to put a hand on them, and they would act like to the world that you did the worst thing. My son told my sister a lot of times, my mother took my phone. I can't believe it. Blah, 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 blah. That's why I got your phone, okay? And you won't get it back till you get your whole life together. So there's so many ways now that are much easier that's going to hit them harder to discipline them, that you never have to lift your hands or probably even raise your voice. I just be like, okay, you run your mouth too much, give me your phone. And then he gets straighten them all the way up. I'm coming to I Am Leo, then Chef Kev, I'll come back to you. Go ahead, I Am Leo.
No, and I get the authoritarian perspective because I'm 50 years old. I'd have been slapped in the mouth, okay, running my mouth. It wasn't in the form of, and I was raised in the house with my mother and my father. You know, I've been blessed, but I was in the authoritative home where it was not necessarily a totally beat down punch in the face, but these kids are different. The kids that I've been raising now don't really care anything about the violence. Now, I will choose violence because I was raised in violence, but these new kids are not about the violence. They don't care about that. If you take their phone, if you take their privileges, look, they get with you. They get with you. They understand. Because one thing I was taught, and this is very important, let your yes mean yes and your no mean no.
That part.
Don't falter on your consequences when you tell them, look, if you do this, that, and the third, this is the consequence. When they disobey, you fall through. You follow up with the consequence. No matter how inconvenient it may be to me, and it can be very inconvenient to me, but I gotta keep my word on what I say. So the kids understand when I say you gonna get it, you gonna get it, and I don't have to raise a hand to you at all.
Facts. You know what?
And
go ahead. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead, Diva. I'm listening.
1 year I had to cancel Halloween for my son. Now, let me tell you, it broke my heart probably more than it broke his. He had that costume on and everything. And when I found out something he did in school, I said, you can't go. You can't go. And let me tell you, I literally tears was rolling down my eyes. I see him at the steps. I see him at the steps at his grandparents' house. Okay, I promise you, it hurt me more than it hurt him, right? Because I was ready to break down and let him go ahead and do it, and then do the punishment afterwards. You understand what I'm saying? But like you said, I knew he was going to remember that day, and I couldn't bow down. I couldn't have it. So he had the costume, everything. When I got that call from the school, never forget, he was in grade school. When they called me and said what he did, and it wasn't that big, but it was big enough that I had to show him a lesson that you don't play in school. You know what I mean? And I said, no Halloween for you. But he was at the grandparents' house, and they called me. They said, can he give out the candy out the door to the other kids? I said, he can. But he can't go out himself. So he stood there, he gave up that candy. When he came home, he said, sorry, Mom, I'll never do it again. I said, no, it's okay. But it did break my heart. I was literally, but his dad was like, don't. He said, nope. He said, don't do it. He said, don't do it.
That's right. You gotta let your yes mean yes and your no mean no. And that's the part where the younger generation is raising these kids and they give in so easily. It's painful not to give in. But you cannot do that if you're not giving them the upside the head. I got the upside the head. It was what it was. I'm like I say, I'm 50 years old. All my siblings went through that. And in the era that we was raised in, it was beneficial. But it's not beneficial now.
Right.
I don't like it.
In 2023, it's not beneficial.
It's again, when you know better, you do better.
That part, Juanita. There you go. Chef Kev, I'm coming back to you. You want to say something?
The point I was trying to make was before I got cut off.
Oh.
I was telling you about that's not every incident. Every incident I was talking about is not a violent incident. And people, I'm saying that's like a last resort incident. We don't know what was done or what was done before that because we just listening in. We don't know if she was spoken to. There are people I've sat there and I remember the conversation that I had was one of my adult family members when I was talking to the child. I kept talking and talking. I walked in the room and said, you're going to have to knock him out. I said, I have nothing else. I have nothing else. You're going to have to knock him out or the streets are going to hurt him. That's all you got at this point. And that's what had to happen. Now, I'm not saying this is what you're supposed to do. But what I'm saying is when you have that fear, we don't know. There are people, I remember my mother canceled Christmas for me. I ain't never get another bad grade in school. She canceled Christmas. You know how that felt? To be the only kid in the house that not get Christmas? She didn't lay a hand on me. I ain't never get a bad grade again.
Well, see, but
that was that situation. So we don't know that situation. That's the whole thing I'm saying. It's like I've seen worse than that. And the thing is like when you're trying to put, and you don't know what her village is too. Where the uncle's at? Is she raising these kids by herself? Is there a grandfather in the house?
Yeah, there is.
Where's the kid from? Where's the father? How old is he? Where's the father at? So sometimes, like my mom told me one time, she said, I did the best I could. Raising raising black men in New York City in them 70s and 80s, I did the best I could. She said, if you don't like what I did, you change it with your child. That's it. But I cannot sit there and we start to me, this is where the punk thing come and talk about abuse. I've seen abuse. I've seen kids thrown out the house, okay, with nowhere to go at 14 years old. I've seen abuse, straight up abuse. That's not abuse. It's a woman who slapped her in the mouth because she's running her mouth. Because guess what? When she's in the street, somebody may put a knife in her.
Okay.
That's just a reality. That's just
Chef Kev, YouTube is very sensitive. I'm gonna need you to calm down with some of the words that you're saying. But you're trying to describe the A word, okay? But you're saying that a striking of the hand on somebody is not the A word. Like, come on now. Me,
it's not. No, because okay. So what? So let me ask you a question. If somebody slaps their child, right? And then somebody coming home every day and just beating their child for no reason. That's on the same level.
They both the same. They one and the same. So
And okay, you know what? That's y'all opinion. That's not my opinion. So y'all not even going to convince me.
so you as an adult is putting your hand across the face of a child. You're bigger than the child.
I didn't. What? This is your opinion. I don't agree. You don't have to convince me. I just disagree with every last one of y'all. You come on my way and you act up. If I can't stop it, you're gonna get hurt. That's it.
Thank you.
Well, we can agree to disagree.
Yeah, we can. Tiffany, you're in the building. What are your thoughts, really quickly? Because I'm about to close out.
No, you said
Okay, I came a little bit late, so I wanted to just.
Okay,
I'm gonna
come to you, E. Go ahead, Tiff.
Okay, I just wanted to talk about. I think it was either E or Robin. I can't tell. Their voices are the same, but how she was talking about the church, and I was just wanting to touch on Marquise.
Yes, go
and
ahead.
his wife. We're probably way beyond that right now, but I'll watch the replay. Wait, what was I gonna say? Y'all, okay. This is what I wanted to say. I just wanted to play devil's advocate about that. I want to say, what about our grandmas? Because I don't really know the different ages between my grandma and my grandpa, but they were like married for like forever until they were old. So like, what if? Huh?
No, go ahead. We're listening.
No, I was gonna say, so what if Marquise and his wife like end up being in their 70s and still together? That's all.
One of them will be in their 70s, the other one will be in their 90s. Or one will be in their 70s, the other one's gonna be in their 50s.
Okay, but listen, because I'm about to close out. E, what's your final words?
Listen, putting your hands on anyone is abuse. Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
If you have to put your hands on someone to get them to listen, that says more about you in my opinion, more about you than it does than the person not listening. I heard a man say to me once, after I spank my daughter, I tell her I love her. And so this is because she can know it's good for her. When he said that to me, I looked at him like he was a monster, because you never tell a little girl, I'm doing that to you because I love you and it's good for you. That is so wrong. And it leads to other patterns we don't even have time to get into. Second of all, I understand teaching a child humility before the street does. I get that. But if you alienate your child and push them away too far, they won't trust you and they won't come to you when they need to. And that will make matters worse. Like the grandmother said on that video, that girl came to her and said, I'm dating. And the grandmother flipped out. Flipping out for what? That girl looked old enough. It's natural for kids to be attracted to the opposite sex and get them a little girlfriend or boyfriend. That's natural. But making them feel dirty or wrong about it, when they open up to you and share, all that teaches them is that they cannot be vulnerable with you and they cannot tell you anything. What did Will Smith say? Parents just don't understand. Yes, you're supposed to be your child's first teacher, but you are also supposed to be your child's first safety place. You are their safe place. So to violate their trust in that way is ridiculous. Also, respect is earned and it's not given. As a father, you can't be out here with a bunch of kids everywhere, being a womanizer, in and out of prison, being immoral, and expect your kids to do anything other than what you're demonstrating. Same thing with the mothers. You can't be out here sneaking other women's husbands in and out of your house, going to the club every weekend, cussing like a sailor, and keeping up mess and expect to raise Mary, and Yolanda Adams.
Tell it, girl. Tell it. Tell it.
You have to practice what you preach. You don't just wait until the kids become teenagers and start telling them how to do right. Being their first teacher means you do that in the beginning. What starts in the womb. They can feel everything that's going on with the mother. If you're treating the mother of your child while she's pregnant bad, you're making her feel sad, you're inflicting her with all of these emotions, it goes into the child. I'll tell you, my father did that to my mother. He made her feel unwanted. And for a long time, I felt unwanted. I felt a certain sadness and didn't know why. Now, it could be totally unrelated, but there's a pathology there. And it's important to know that children feel everything the mother feels. You don't be cursing and playing all that music over your children while they're in the car, listening to all that Future and the baby and all of this nonsense, talking about this wicked stuff. If you want to raise upstanding people, then you start being upstanding yourself. You raise them in upstanding environments. And I understand everybody can't live in the hills. I get
Right.
that. But you know your neighbors. You make friends with your neighbors. You pay attention when they're before they even go to school. Know your neighborhood. If so, you may have to move. You may have to move. Ain't nothing wrong with starting over and moving to the country for a little while. You do what you can for the betterment of your kids if that is your
Exactly.
priority. But there are resources. There are resources out there, and I think everyone should be empowered to know that. You don't just wait until they're teenagers, and you don't speak negativity over them. My father did that to one of his other children. It said that they weren't going to be anything. Why would you say that?
You'll
Why
never
would you
do
put that
that.
into the
No.
universe? Like, come on, words are powerful. You be careful what you speak to these children. You be
Mm-hmm.
careful what you listen to around them. You be careful. I don't even curse in front of my child. And I got it in me. Diva can tell you, I curse real bad, but
Mm.
I don't do that where my child can hear, or I try not to. And
Right.
I don't listen to that type of music and watch that type of television. When you do that in front of them and say, "Oh, this is for grown folks," what you're saying is, I can do bad things, and you can do
Mm-hmm.
bad things when you get older, but just not right now. You can't
You,
do that.
you
They're
know that
always
that that goes
watching.
You,
back
you
to
just spoke a word, E. That's a good thing to end on. I'm gonna say amen. See, you know
Amen.
what? Let me
Amen.
tell you something.
Amen, amen, amen.
As a single parent, right? My son ain't never seen nobody come through these doors, and he never will. Okay. Now, when I send him off to college, which is going to be, sometimes August, whatever, I'm going to do what I do.
I
Okay.
know that's
But
right.
that kid has seen me with no one but his father. I
Right.
promise you that. I'm not going to be in his house. They learning from you forever. They're learning from you.
Right.
That's not what I'm going to do. I don't judge anybody. Just know this, everyone. I don't judge anybody. You do what you have to do. I'm just saying I don't do it. I don't drink in my house. I do not smoke. I do none of that because I want him to model after me the best way that I can. And I'm not saying I'm perfect because nobody is, but I'm
Right.
saying that I do the best I can. And that's where I'm going to be the example. And hopefully, when he goes out in the streets, he'll be the example too. You know what? He will
Right.
remember. You teach him
Right.
what you want you to know, and then you just got to pray that they carry out that thing when they're not.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Amen.
Just like I told him the other day. He went out with his friends one night, and then the next day he had to work. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna call out." No, you will not. No, you will not. Nope, you will not call out. I said you was the one that knew you had to work the next day, and you hung out with your friends. So get yourself together, get a cup of tea or something, but you got to go to work.
Hey,
Okay,
that
that's it.
reminds that
Because
reminds me of when you go party on Saturday and your
okay,
parents
you
say
don't
you getting
call
up
out
going to
sick. You
church
don't be
Sunday,
lying like that. You
you going
go
to
to
church,
work.
right?
Okay. So listen, this was a great, amazing conversation. I
It
do want to
was.
say at the end of this, Karambo, I really like him. You should watch his show. He does have a lot of common sense. And he really tries to wrap that thing up in the end with everybody he brings up there. And he understood both sides. He didn't just take the granddaughter side. He understood both sides and told them both they got some work to do, and
Right.
a big hug at the end. It was a really nice moment where they hugged because this grandmother was darn near tough as nails. Tough as nails. I mean, but I think she's tough as nails because she has so much going on herself.
Mm-hmm.
Go check it out on his channel. I did put the link in the description. I appreciate everybody's opinion and conversation. And thank you guys so much. Don't forget, tomorrow at noon Eastern Standard Time. Is that correct, Juice?
Yes, Friday afternoon. I'm sorry. Look at me, Friday night. I'm ready to go to bed.
Me
Listen.
too, me too. So Friday at 12.
Friday afternoon, 12 Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Juice. We have our follow up, and he's bringing his receipts. And these receipts are old because his wife asked me today to bring out the DVD. What is it? Not the DVD, the other player,
The
VCR.
VHS,
the
VCR.
VCR, and I was like, I don't even know where that's at.
Wait, so who are we talking about? Who are we talking about? Who's coming back? I'm sorry, I'm so late.
Do you have you Tiffany, have you been watching SWV and Escape the Queens of Art?
Yes. Who's coming out on Friday?
Latasha Scott and
Oh, you already interviewed him, but he's coming back?
The father is coming back. Yeah, he's coming back
I
tomorrow.
think I'm subscribed to you. I gotta turn on notifications.
Coming back Friday. Yeah, he's coming Friday. So if you subscribe to the channel, you'll get the notification.
Oh, great.
And he's bringing photos. He's been downloading photos to me and so forth. And it's going to show records. And he's going to bring his receipts. So we're going to have a chit chat. We're going to keep it nice and clean over here because we still have respect for Latasha. We still have respect for Tamika. We understand there's a dissension in the family right now, but we don't want to add to it. We're really trying to do this to bring them closer together. But he just wants to have his voice to say he was there and he did have, his time in his girls' lives. And that's it. He has nothing bad to say about really either one of them. He loves his
I saw you guys' last video. Great job. That was such a great interview. It was you, Diva, Min, a couple of y'all. I loved it. So I gotta make sure I got the notifications on for you so I can not miss it.
And you're Juice Radio.
And
Radio.
talk.
I know. But listen, it took me a while to find you because you were like affiliated with like Juice WRLD. There was like a rapper, Juice WRLD, that is no longer here. So it took me a while to find you, but I found you.
No, that's
I'm sorry, guys. Aaron, throw the link in the chat again, so because it flew up. Help me out if you're still there, Aaron, and throw the link in again so it could be at the end here. And just tell everybody tomorrow at noon. All right.
Friday.
Yeah, Diva and I thinking the same thing.
That's why it's time to wrap it up.
That's right. Okay.
And I'm not affiliated with anybody else. On my own channel. We're the Juice Radio and Talk Show. There's other platforms that have the same name, the Juice Radio. So that's why you have to put the second part to it because we're a talk show and radio.
Okay.
So that's why I couldn't find the chat. I couldn't find your link last time. So when I tried to search it, I kept coming up with that other Juice WRLD, but I finally found you. I watched that other interview. So right on. I loved it. I'll be there tomorrow.
No, Friday.
That's enough.
No, let's get this straight. We're closing out. We're gonna get this straight right here now. Aaron, if you got me, put Juice Radio's link again in the chat. So listen, guys, the interview is Friday. Good Friday. There we go.
Friday.
It's gonna be a good interview on Good Friday. There we go.
There you go.
Okay. It's a good interview.
There's Aaron. Thank you, Aaron.
Friday, Good Friday at noon. Okay, Eastern Standard Time. 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. Okay. So thank you guys. Okay, so be there. That's the link. It's in the chat. You don't want to miss this interview. The first interview was everything, blew the internet up, and now you're gonna get the receipts. So be there and listen. Keeping it real petty. Thank you so much for the super chat. I truly appreciate you. Thank you for being here, and thank y'all for hanging out for this conversation. We'll see y'all next time, everybody. Good night. The train.
Good night, everybody.
Good night,
Good night. I want to know about your plant, so I'm gonna hit you up in the comments.
Okay, sounds good. Okay.
About your foliage plant. I hit you up about it before. I got to know what the progress is. But good night.
Good night.